Howdy, guys, and welcome to Cliff Notes, and welcome to night number 36 of the Overnight Feed Recaps. A good Friday to all of y'all. All right, we had the live eviction episode yesterday. We lost Brooklyn. Yeah, we lost Brooklyn after she failed to win the AIBB Arena competition. She was then voted out by an 8-1 vote. The only vote supporting her was Chelsea, which was nice to see that they were loyal to the end to each other. But everyone else went ahead and voted out Brooklyn. So Brooklyn is out the door. Chelsea won the competition. I got to say, I was kind of hoping we get a Chelsea-Brooklyn vote off just to see how everyone voted, but that didn't happen. Chelsea won the competition itself. These AIBB Arena competitions have been kind of fun to watch because they're different from the typical stuff that we see. Now, last night's fun to watch, but I got to say, they really had to simplify it there towards the end before someone could figure out this thing and solve the puzzle. It was live, so they had to go somewhat fast. Scrambled letters, or letters basically scrolling backwards, not even scrambled. Scrolling backwards took forever. Eventually, they figured out. Very frustrating as a viewer. I don't know how many times I must have yelled, super elephant, it's right there on the ground, and they'd walk right past it. But Chelsea did what she had to do, I think, to, I don't know. It would be interesting, her versus Brooklyn. But anyway, Brooklyn is out the door. And so, yeah, we've got a Tucker getting his wish in terms of breaking up that little duo. Now, certainly that was big news that we're now down. We've lost 5 members. There was not an announcement made about welcome the jury. So we'll see how that comes into play. Are we going to have a 7-person jury this year? I don't know. I still think it's 9, but we haven't gotten word yet from Julie Chen. The other big news that we got last night was that the AIBB Arena is going to continue. Apparently, they're going to continue making 3 nominations. I really thought that was going to end by now. Could you be going with a 7-person jury and get a few more weeks out of these AIBB arenas? Perhaps so. Perhaps so. And we still don't know what the AI instigator power is going to be, exactly how they can screw that up. So few more things to check on here over the next week and find out. But yeah, it looks like T-Core's job's a little bit harder because she's still going to have to nominate 3 people instead of 2. It looks like Tucker, I kind of blew the lead there, didn't I? It looks like Tucker may have a little more salvation for a while, because as long as you've got 3 people nominated and the AIBB Arena, 2 chances to pull yourself off the block, that certainly helps Tucker. All right, one final thing that happened before we talk about the live feeds themselves. Earlier in the day, before the live show, we had the 4-person alliance of Tucker and Rabina and Chemo and T-Core finally became official. Yeah, they met up in the HOH room. They decided they're going to make an official alliance of 4. At least we're going now from 5. We're now to the step of going 4-person alliances. They've called themselves, the new alliance name is Friends, with 4 Z's at the end representing each 4 of them. At least they've got a name that doesn't have a number in it, so that it's a little harder for other people to figure out how big an alliance it is. I always a fan of the non-numbered names of alliances. But yeah, we have 1 official alliance. All right, let's talk about the feeds themselves. We had the live show. Feeds shut down forever. It's another one of those nights where you're thinking, God, are we going to get feeds at all this evening? Well, eventually we did get feeds about, I don't know, 9:50 or so Big Brother time. I've seen online some people saying it wasn't just the West Coast feed they're waiting on, but the Democratic convention and speeches and things like that. I don't know. But we got our feeds back at 9:50 last night. First thing we see, Chemo and Rabina just bawling tears in the bathroom, trying to figure out, are these happy tears? Or are they sad tears? Because there were a lot of tears. Well, as it turns out, they're happy because we have a new HOH, and I kind of mentioned it already, but I'll play it up again anyway. We've got a new HOH. The new HOH is T-Core. Yes, T-Core has won HOH, so congratulations to her. Yeah, we'll hear a lot of this week. But T-Core won HOH. Rabina, over the top enthusiastic throughout the entire evening. I don't know how much of this is genuine and how much of it is Rabina playing it up a little bit, but Rabina is dang happy that T-Core won that HOH competition. Heaven help us when Rabina wins one of these things. If she got that excited for T-Core's, I can only imagine what hers would be. But T-Core has won the competition itself. At first, we didn't really know what the competition was. Throughout the evening, we hear a little bit more. Sounds like it was some sort of video where they're watching themselves and they're having to answer questions. Apparently, the last 4 competing were Tikor and Rubina and Chelsea and Joseph. At one point, there was mention that this thing only lasted 3 rounds. So apparently, it was one of those where you get eliminated if you answer incorrectly, and it only took 3 questions for everyone else to get eliminated. That seems very quick. Surely people weren't throwing this HOH. Surely it's more important than that, right? You would think so. I would certainly think so, but it certainly went fast. Maybe it was a hard competition. We'll find out when they show it on Sunday. But Tikor has won the competition. Another non-physical type comp. It was a mental comp sitting in a booth type deal, it sounds like. With Tikor on as HOH, Mackenzie certainly seems like she's in trouble, and we'll talk about it throughout the evening with all the one-on-ones. Tikor is saying that Chelsea is safe, and that as is Tucker, and obviously Rubina and Chemo. She's talking to Rubina and Chemo in the bathroom, saying, "You two are safe, Tucker's safe, and Chelsea's safe. Those y'all 4 are good, and then we'll see about the rest." Chemo and Rubina giving all kinds of advice on how to be an HOH. Oh, you would think they've been an HOH before with as much advice as they're throwing out there. I gotta say, we're going to call us Tikor's HOH, but if she isn't careful, we might as well just rename it the Chemo HOH week, because I think Chemo is going to feel like he's got a lot of power. As much as he has feel down and depressed about his position in the game, this week I think he's going to be feeling a lot of power. So we'll see how he handles that. We'll see how Tikor handles someone trying to intrude on her HOH a little bit. I'm amazed. They had one-on-ones. I'm amazed that Chemo wasn't in there with Tikor in every single one-on-one. But Chemo and Rubina giving her Tikor a lot of advice on how to deal with being HOH. Tikor has decided that she's going to try to go ahead and talk to everyone tonight. They're getting them all in on Thursday nights. I feel like lots of the seasons past, people would wait till Friday, but not this season. She's going to try to do it all overnight, and she's going to limit everyone to 20 minutes each. Chemo is saying, "Hey, I'll be the timekeeper if you want, and make sure everyone gets 20 minutes, because if some people are shorter and some people are longer, then people are going to try to read into it. Just get everyone 20 minutes, and that'll be the end of it." So Tikor saying, "Yeah, that's fine. I'm just 20 minutes per person. I'll cut it off and I'll move on to the next person." Tikor does mention how, I don't know if she used the word ironic or fantastic. Tikor says, 2 black women winning in a single night, maybe iconic. But yeah, she does mention that she certainly recognizes how happy she is the way things worked out. Yeah, you won HOH. I don't care what color your skin is. You won HOH, Tikor. You should be happy. All right, we've got Chelsea and Cam talking to one another. They know that Tikor isn't going to go after Tucker. They think this idea of trying to backdoor Tucker just isn't going to happen this week. They're thinking Angela will go with whatever Tucker wants to do. Tucker's going to go with whatever Tikor wants to do, as long as he's not on the block. So they're seeing the numbers on the other side. Cam is suggesting to Chelsea that they can work with Leah, maybe bring her in. He's saying she will be a number. Would Chelsea work with Leah? She certainly has not always been real happy with Leah in the house. Would Leah work with Chelsea? Well, Leah would work with anyone who has the power. Unfortunately, Chelsea doesn't necessarily have the power this week. But through her connection with Tikor, perhaps. Well, we'll find out. But certainly Cam and Chelsea still trying to figure out how they can consolidate some power on the other side for the weeks ahead. All right, we've got Chelsea and MJ talking. MJ is saying that Joseph looks worried, and they're thinking that Quinn maybe should be a little bit worried as well. MJ, you may want to be a little bit worried also. All right, we've got Tikor starting her one-on-one. She starts them with Chemo. Really? That's I guess it's a practice run. Yeah, she's had enough one-on-ones with Chemo so far this season, but she starts her one-on-one with Chemo. They're amazingly not in the rock bedroom. They're actually in the unicorn, the pedal bedroom instead. But she started talking to Chemo. Chemo is wondering, keep this in mind, Chemo's wondering, realizing there's not a lot of people that Tikor has options with in terms of putting up without creating some issues. He's wondering if maybe Tucker would be willing to volunteer as a pawn yet one more time. Cam and Leah and Mackenzie are all mentioned as possible targets. Chemo is telling T-Core, saying this might be the last non-jury person that's sent out. I don't know how he came up with that. I sure can't see an 8-person jury. And when he said that, I thought, well, maybe they were told something while the feeds were down. I don't think so. So unless Chemo's thinking there's 3 people instead of final 2, you've got final 3, kind of like Survivor, you're not going to have an 8-person jury. Well, unless America had a vote, I guess you could do that. But Chemo, for whatever reason, is saying this could be the last non-jury vote. So T-Core needs to think about who of everyone left would she not want on the jury voting for her or Chemo if they were in those final 2 chairs. All right. Let me just say this. Non-game talk. I had a hard time watching that first one-on-one between Chemo and T-Core because, yeah, Chemo eating a lot of ramen noodles and talking at the same time. And just don't be eating while you're having one-on-ones. The cameras tend to zoom in on people's faces when they're one-on-one, and sounds are insinuated and everything else. But yeah, he was enjoying his ramen noodles. T-Core was as well, but Chemo especially enjoying those noodles. All right, Chemo is saying that they need the numbers with this double eviction next week that he's envisioning. So T-Core shouldn't do anything to mess with the numbers, which basically means don't turn on any of our alliances and have a lot of people perhaps upset with us. We need to be very safe this week. He's saying that T-Core, he knows that T-Core likes Leah, but she isn't in an alliance. She probably wouldn't go home anyway. She is a number, someone they could put up without offending anyone else. So again, it's all about being safe this week and keeping the numbers. All right, we do have, let's see, what else? Chemo and Tucker are talking. Chemo is saying that T-Core doesn't have many options. Agreed on that one. Tucker has suggested Chelsea, but Chemo saying, yeah, no, T-Core's going to keep Chelsea safe, Tucker. That's not going to work, and no, it won't work. Tucker is mentioning that Quinn or MJ maybe as potential targets. Tucker is saying that, and this is where Tucker speaks a little bit before thinking, I think, in this situation. Tucker says, she's got limited options, and if she's not going to put up Chelsea, it gets even more limited. He's saying if she needs a pawn, she can use me. I don't want to do it. I'm not saying I want to do it, but I would do it for T-Core if that's what was needed. Well, be careful what you all volunteer for, whether you want it or not, Tucker, because some people are going to pick up and run with this a little bit later. All right, Tucker's thinking that Quinn threw the HOH this week. Why? Would he do it just so he wasn't faced with the pressure to go after Tucker and backdoor him? Or he feels so safe right now that he's not the biggest target of anyone. I'm not sure, but yeah, Tucker's thinking Quinn through HOH. I don't. Would Tucker be happy that Quinn was willing to let someone else get her? Or would he be upset that Quinn wasn't playing hardcore all the way through? I don't know. We'll see what happens over the next few days if they discuss this. All right, we've got Tucker and Rabina celebrating T-Core's victory. They're as excited as anyone in the house. They are incredibly excited. Tucker is mentioning that Cam and Quinn, or Quinn or MJ, I can't remember which one it was, but Tucker saying Cam and one of those two and maybe somebody else could be targets for T-Core. Tucker is saying at the end, though, he said, look, T-Core can do whatever she wants. I'm fine with it. It's her HOH. He said, I'm going to talk to her, but I'm just going to tell her have fun with it and, all of that. He said, I'm going to let her do whatever she wants, and I'm fine with it. We'll see if that truly is the case, or if he starts putting some pressure on her to do one thing or the other. But at least for now, he's just going to kind of sit back. I think he feels like he's safe. Probably is. So he's just going to sit back, let T-Core enjoy her week, and then start playing the game again the week following. So yeah, he's saying that he's good with whatever she does, either way, and he's good with her no matter how she handles this week as HOH. All right, we've got T-Core and Leah talking. Leah's saying that she knows that T-Core is close to Angela, and so Angela maybe wouldn't be a target necessarily. She's suggesting Mackenzie would be a good target, because she says, I know that you, T-Core, don't talk a lot of game with Mackenzie, and Mackenzie doesn't really have anyone else in the house, so it seems like she'd be a perfect target. She's saying that she knows that T-Core is also close to Cam and Chelsea. She's saying, if it wasn't for you being close to those two, they would be easy people to put up. But I know you're close, so that may be a non-starter right there as well. She said, maybe Quinn. Have you considered Quinn as well? So yeah, Leah throwing out a lot of names of house guests whose names don't start with L. as potential targets. Leah's saying that she's got T-Court's back no matter who Leah puts up. She's fine with whatever. Well, Leah being the floater she is, I'm sure she is fine. She'll go wherever the power is, and this week it's with T-Core. So she's saying, I got your back no matter which direction you go with this T-Core. She's saying that she knows that they're good with each other. So as long as that's the case, then everything's great. We'll see. Leah's name was mentioned, maybe not as a primary target, but certainly once you start looking at renoms for vetoes and things like that, Leah's name's in the mix. So, but Leah's saying, I know we're good with each other. So whatever you want to do, T-Core. All right. We've got Joseph and T-Core talking a little bit. T-Core is complaining to Joseph, saying none of these conversations are helping. There's a lot of people who've thrown out names, but unfortunately, I think they're names that T-Core doesn't really want to hear, like Chelsea, like Cam, like Quinn. So I think she's just not hearing some easy path for her to take. So she's telling Joseph that, saying, yeah, it's just not helping that much. Joseph is saying, similar to what Leah did, said, you know what, I'm good with you, Leah, T-Core. I've got your back no matter what you do. Just know that of everyone in here, I'm the one that's got your back. So don't worry about that. He is suggesting his targets potentially being Cam and Mackenzie and Chelsea. Well, we know Chelsea's a non-starter, but he's throwing that out there again. He's saying that Chelsea wouldn't go in any scenario, that Chelsea probably wouldn't be mad at T-Core because she knows that T-Core was at the bottom of that collective alliance. And so T-Core has a reason to do that, and that maybe T-Core could spin it as it's making it look like she's not as close to Chelsea or something. And so he's basically saying that Chelsea wouldn't hold it against you if you put her on the block, knowing that she is simply a pawn. There's no way she'd be going home. Would she not hold it against T-Core? I don't know. As much conversations as Chelsea and Brooklyn had about T-Core and Kima last week, she may kind of hold it against her. But Joseph is throwing that out there as a potential idea as well. Well, wouldn't that be a shock to the whole house if T-Core put up Chelsea as part of a nomination? But he's saying, yeah, she wouldn't be upset with that. He's saying that Leah loves T-Core. He's saying she talks about you all the time, T-Core. So he's trying to protect Leah a little bit, it sounds like. He says Quinn does too. Quinn absolutely is a fan of yours. So don't go after Quinn if you get if you can avoid it, please. Joseph is hearing that Tucker offered to be a pawn. I think T-Core maybe mentions it during the conversation. And he says, that'd be great. If Tucker's willing to go up there, so much the better. He's saying, I won't vote against Tucker. Neither will Rubina or Angela or Chemo. He's saying, so there's no chance that Tucker goes home. We'll be able to protect him. So he truly will just be a pawn, and it saves you from having to put up another person. I think that sounds attractive to T-Core. Finally, Joseph is asking if the two of them are good, and she says, yeah. I think she even said, we're good. So it doesn't sound like Joseph's going to be, at least while they're talking, that he's going to be in the mix this week. All right, we've got Quinn and T-Core talking for their one-on-one. They start off with a little dancing, a little celebration as well. Amazing how everyone wants to celebrate with T-Core now that she's won HOH. But they have a little dancing. Quinn is saying that, or T-Core is saying that one person in the house, or I think actually Quinn says one person in the house everyone agrees on. I couldn't hear what he said, but I think he's referencing Mackenzie at this point, and T-Core seems to agree. Quinn has mentioned Cam as another possible target. He says that he thinks Tucker is bored, and that because Tucker is bored, he may volunteer to be a pawn. Well, it's actually already happened. So Quinn had a good read on that. T-Core is saying that she really doesn't want Cam on the block again. He just was off on the block. She hates to put someone up twice in a row. So Cam may not be an option for her. That's something that she would just soon not have to do. T-Core is starting to solidify what her option may be. And she's talking to Quinn about potentially Mackenzie and Cam if she has to, and Tucker, with Cam and Tucker definitely being pawns this week. So yeah, she's, as much as she says she doesn't want Cam up there 2 weeks in a row, it certainly is something that she's considering. And then she says, and maybe Leah is a replacement nom. Quinn is suggesting as a backup as well, or a fourth person if needed. All right, we had the HOH room reveal, and for yet another week, we got to watch it. So thank you, Big Brother Production. T-Core got a letter from her twin sister. She got one of Beyonce's albums for her music. She got another pair of glasses. wine for her drink, all kinds of food and wraps and things like that. Everyone seemed very excited for her. Angela sitting off to the side. Angela looked like she was about in tears as she watched T-Core celebrating, enjoying her HOH room. Everyone enjoys it. Everyone eventually takes off. Mackenzie kind of hangs around a little bit just to check in, as she tends to do with new HOHs. But yeah, we had the HOH room reveal, and it was fun to watch. All right, we've got Cam and T-Core talking on their one-on-one. Cam is saying that he wants to go to the end with T-Core and Chemo and Chelsea. That would be his final four, if he has anything to say about it, which he kind of doesn't, because he hadn't done anything so far. But he's vocalizing that, yeah, absolutely, I want to go with you to the very end, T-Core, and add in a couple extra people, and we can run this thing to the very end. So he's talking about that. T-Core is confirming to Cam. Cam asked a question, and T-Core is confirming to him that, yeah, if it'd been a vote between you and Chelsea, Cam, you would have gone home. Chelsea had more support than you did in the house. And it seems like Cam's a little bit shocked. I don't know if he's necessarily surprised, but it's not news that he wanted to hear. Cam is telling T-Core that he could be a benefit to her game, that he is loyal to T-Core, and so hold on to me because I can certainly help you go a little bit further. All right, we've got MJ and T-Core talking a little bit. Mackenzie is saying that she knows that the nominations are something that T-Core has to do, that no one will hold it against her regardless of what she does, unless she nominates Mackenzie. And then, but yeah, as long as you don't nominate me, we're not holding anything against you, T-Core. We understand it's something you have to do. I didn't time these one-on-ones. I don't feel like Mackenzie's necessarily stuck to that 20-minute rule. Seems like it was a pretty quick discussion, but yeah, Mackenzie not maybe realize. I think Mackenzie knows more. She just didn't vocalize to T-Core that she realized that she's an easy target this week. All right, we missed Chelsea's one-on-one with T-Core. Feeds cut for whatever reason, so we have no clue what those two talked about. Hopefully hear about a little bit more later. All right, we've got Rubina and T-Core talking. T-Core is saying that she doesn't want to be the girl who breaks up alliances. In other words, who do I pick? She's told us a lot of people of who she does not want to put up, which doesn't leave a lot of people to put up. But yeah, she's saying she don't want to be the girl who breaks up alliances. She's saying that Chelsea was crying about something that was said to her. Later, we hear that Chelsea went to the DR room and Chemo was saying, I hope she's okay. So we don't know what was said, who said or anything else, but apparently something at some point was said that got Chelsea a little upset. So T-Core is mentioning that. T-Core is talking about that she is seriously putting up Tucker as a pawn. Rubina is worried that he either goes home, which she doesn't want, or if he doesn't go home, it only bumps up his resume that much more. So she's a little bit more put on the brakes than T-Core is at this point by this whole idea of putting Tucker on the block, putting her man on the block. Can we say that now? Now that we've seen some live feeds that suggest that Tucker and Rubina may be getting a little extra friendly with each other, and we'll just leave it at that. But it certainly seems like they have a close, tight connection. All right, we've got Chemo and Quinn talking. Quinn is thinking that Joseph is getting close to Chelsea. He already has a close relationship with Mackenzie. So Quinn expressing a little concern about Joseph. He says that Joseph's a little slippery. And so he's saying that. Now, is he saying that because he wants to throw Joseph under the bus, which he's doing, or is it just because he's talking to Chemo and he wants to make sure that other names get thrown out there besides his own? I'm not sure, but he does mention that Joseph's a little slippery and seems like he's got a lot of connections that don't involve these two guys. Quinn thinks that Chelsea and Mackenzie would both put Quinn on the block if either one of them had an opportunity. Therefore, those may be two of the people that Quinn would love to see on the block this week. All right, we've got Joseph and why isn't everyone talking to Chemo? Boy, when I'm not doing my one-on-one with T-Core, I would be down there making sure I'm in the same bedroom with Chemo 24 hours a day until these nominations are made, because everyone, surely they know that Chemo is just an extension of T-Core this week, right? I would be driving Chemo crazy hanging around him. We didn't see a whole lot of that last night, though. All right, we've got Joseph and Rubina talking. Rubina is saying that Turner is worried about being nominated and really afraid that Quinn would vote to send Tucker out the door if he had the opportunity. But Joseph is telling Rubina, saying, look, we've got enough votes that even if Quinn did think he wanted to do something like that and get sneaky and get Tucker out the door, he says, we've got enough votes that Quinn's vote wouldn't matter. We could still protect Tucker. So I don't think that's something that Tucker needs to be worried about. Joseph is swearing to Rubina. He says it several times, comes back and says it later again, says, look, I'm swearing on my life and everything that's dear to me. I will not vote Tucker out. If he was up there as a pawn, I will not vote him out. Got your vote, my vote. Tucker's not going anywhere. All right, we've got Leah and Quinn and MJ, and then later Rubina, all in the downstairs bathroom, jumping around, just acting silly. No game talk, just playing around, letting off a little steam. There is a little bit of talk about have-nots. Apparently nothing was mentioned about have-nots, so not sure if we'll have them this week. We may be taking a break. They may be over for good at this point. We'll see as we get into the rest of the week. All right, we've got T-Core and Chemo finally talking with each other. T-Core is saying that the more she talks to Mackenzie, the more she realizes that Mackenzie could be a good person to have on her side. You got to pick someone, T-Core. Unfortunately, you've got to pick a few someones. But she's saying, Mackenzie actually probably would be good to have on our side. But on the other hand, she's saying everyone said her name. Just about everyone in this house mentioned her name as a target, which makes it very easy to put her up. And she's saying a lot of people said Cam as well. So as much as she maybe doesn't want Cam on the block 2 weeks in a row, Mackenzie and Cam may be easy targets, easy picks, because I think T-Core is realizing the rest of the house really isn't going to be upset or offended if she does that. Put the two of them up alongside Tucker as a pawn. Well, now T-Core gets the easy. We say easy. Has any week been easy in this house? Maybe one or two in the beginning, but she theoretically gets the easy week that she's seeking without getting a lot of blood on her hands. So yeah, maybe that's what we're going to end up with is Tucker and Mackenzie and Cam. We'll find out today because we do have the nominations. So that's it for the conversations. Mackenzie stayed up a little while reading the Bible just on her own, everyone else in bed. Finally, she called it a night as well. Everyone in bed, lights out by about 4 o'clock or so, big brother time. So there you have it, guys. Today we're going to have the nomination. And again, I kind of think you're going to see probably almost guaranteed Mackenzie, potentially Cam, and I think just almost certainly Tucker as well. And then Leah could be the renom if something happens with the veto. That's my prediction right now. We'll see how that works out. Guys, it's Friday. Enjoy the start of your weekend. I will be back tomorrow morning to give you an update on who got nominated, the repercussions from that, and we'll start talking about the veto that'll be taking place tomorrow as well. But until then, guys, have a great Friday. SKD 143. Cheers, my friends. Bye.